Hey, so I just wanted to check in real quick to comment on the fact that apparently we are now at record high levels of people in 20 to 25 using marijuana and psychedelic products. And actually, also the rate of vaping has gotten back up to pre-pandemic levels and shows like it's escalating. And this is important for a number of reasons. I think the first that we just have to be very aware of is that self-medication and jumping the gun on science, not often the best idea. There's a reason why actually psychedelics, as promising as these therapies are, and they are. It is exciting what's going on. It's cool to see where it goes. It is very different than micros dosing yourself at breakfast. It's very different than just going on a trip on your own. This is part of a therapeutic process that is very well controlled. The same thing is true for cannabinoid studies. There's certain therapeutic uses where individual cannabinoids, sometimes even smoked products, although it's generally cannabinoids so that it can be consistently studied, can be useful, but that's very different than just going out and doing something to yourself, trying to solve a problem. And that's why when you look at the Nora Volkow quote in that article, why she's concerned is that ideally what we'd like to see is the public move towards research and evidence supported solutions to problems. I know that for me as a psychologist, as an addiction psychologist, that's something I believe very strongly in, is that we've got the scientific method, we have FDA trials. This is why even in the middle of a pandemic, we took some time to validate the vaccines to make sure that they actually do work and come up with a good side effect profile. That's also why when you look at, say, a drug like ivermectin and everything that happened around that, where now, then and now, honestly, we're seeing lots of these reports that no, it actually doesn't prevent severe illness and death from COVID. Or if you go way back to things like, say, thalidomide, where you had bunches of kids who were born without arms or deformed limbs, that was because we didn't actually have the proper testing in place first. So it is so important, you guys. It's so important to, if you have a problem, take care of it, but go about it in ways that have been studied instead of using yourself as a guinea pig. I understand that some people don't necessarily want to go towards medications, don't want the pharmacological approach. That's totally okay. And there's still a lot of different things you can do with folks like, say, myself, a psychologist, where you can make a lot of progress on well-being, on psychiatric symptoms, things like that, without resorting to putting substances in your body that aren't well understood, aren't well studied, particularly in that young adult range. If that's who's watching this, if you're under the age in particular of 25 when your brain is still developing, you want to let that cook with as little interference as possible. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening. And here's hoping that we can get some of this trend of self-medication under control and move people towards solutions that actually have solid backing in science.